Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took 3 trades today and I've got everything on video. If you like these videos, hit the like button. If you have any questions about these trades, leave a comment below. Finally, if you'd like to download the trading tools that I use in this video, the easiest way to do so is to go to my YouTube homepage, click on the little Facebook icon. That'll bring you over to the Facebook trading group. You can become a member and click on files and you'll have access to my trading plan, my spreadsheet, my 2-hour calculator, all that good stuff. So let's get to the trades. As I said, there were 3 trades. I'll tell you right in the beginning, they were all losers, but I did everything according to my plan and my strategy, so that kept the losses to a minimum. And these losing trades are probably more important for newer traders to watch than the winning ones. The winning trades are easy. They take care of themselves, but the losing trades are the ones that you have to be extra careful with. Make sure that you follow your rules and your plans. Otherwise, the losers can turn into really big losers if you're not careful. So as always, I start with Webull on the markets pane, top gainers, pre-market, select all. I organize by volume and I only look at the top 3 stocks at the time that I was trading. Right now it's after 5, but it was 4 a.m. when I was trading. Sbbp was number 1, or in the top 3 at least, and Cetx was also in the top 3, and so was HOVF. So let's take a look at the video. So you can see I have Cetx right now. This is the previous session's high, so it obviously traded above the previous high. And this is at the beginnings of an ABCD pattern. You can use this as point A, and here's point B, and then this is the pullback. So I'm just waiting for the pullback to finish forming to give me an entry. HOVF, I have the previous high marked out as well. And I put Sbbp on the chart. You can see the time, it's like basically 4:03 right now. So Cetx just about broke the ABCD pattern, which means if point C comes down below A, then it's failed. That's my criteria. Ideally, you'd like to see it slightly higher, because the lower it goes, kind of the weaker potentially it is. But I don't like to get too subjective with these patterns because I've taken plenty of trades like that more often than not that have worked out, and they don't always look textbook. So I just have very strict criteria. If C is above A, or as long as it doesn't go below A, then I can still take the entry, and that's what's happened here. So there you see my first entry. I'm waiting for the break of a 1-minute candle, and it gets broken on this one here. And I believe the ideal entry was 265, and I got in at 267. I'm buying the ask, and you can see that's where the ask was. And that's really the only way you can get in a stock right away. If you try to buy the bid, these are buyers over here. No one's selling at 265. So if you click buy the bid, all you're doing is putting a limit order out at 265, and you'll have to wait for the ask to come down to that price before you get filled. So there you can see I'm in at 267, so good fill. Nothing wrong with the entry. The entry's good. And my stop loss is, of course, 1 cent below this candle. I'm using my 2-hour calculator, which you can download from the Facebook page, and put my entry and my stop, and that gives me my profit target, which is 297. And this thing ran up pretty hard right after I got in it. I was pretty confident that this trade was going to work out. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't really like to try to read or predict what's going to happen while I'm in the trade, because so many times you're wrong. Even when you understand price action, you understand volume, all that kind of stuff, candlesticks and all that. I understand that stuff really well, and I used to try to read, okay, if this type of candlestick pops up after this one, this is what's more likely to happen. And it just really, more often than not, you get tricked in and out of things. So it's better just to have a strategy, a plan, and just trade that, and then statistics will work in your favor. So here I'm just waiting for it to hit 2R or stop me out at 1R, and I'm also watching Sbbp, which now has, you can call this A or this point A if you want, and then this is B, and I'm waiting for C to form. And you can see on here on Cetx, when the price comes down below my position, I cancel that profit target, the limit order. I can always put it back in, but if it's up there while the price comes down and hits my stop and I use my hotkeys to get out, it's not going to let me sell, because it's going to think I'm trying to sell an additional bunch of shares on top of the shares that I have on the profit target. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. So you can see how these things, they just chop around. So, you know, sometimes you get scared and you get out and then the thing goes and hits your target. So that's why I say it's better just to let it play out. Either it stops you out or it hits your target, and there's no in between. And either way, at least you know that you did the right thing. You followed your plan and your strategy, and that's all you can do. And then, so here's I missed the first entry here on Sbbp. Let's go back to that real quick. Sorry about that. So this is a pretty typical pattern. If you watch my first, say, like 9 trades of March, actually it was 9 trading days of March, I took patterns like this every single day, and every time they worked out. So these are good, strong patterns, but they don't always work out. And that's what happened today. So again, here's point A, here's point B, here's the pullback to point C, and now I want to get in for the break of this candle. You can see the high is 493. So 494 would be ideal. I'm not sure if I got 494 or 495, I think I got, which is fine. That's only 1 cent difference. And then, of course, as always, the low is the stop of that previous candle. So if you take the same setup all the time, you're also putting the statistics in your favor. If you trade a bunch of different setups, then your results are going to be all over the place, and you're not going to really know what's working and what isn't. So again, this one, as soon as I got in, seemed to shoot up. So it was looking pretty promising. You can see, look, I mean, it went all the way to 503 or 507, and my profit target's 527. So, you know, if you were just trying to read this trade as it plays out, look at that. It went 10 cents shy of my target. You'd think, oh, this is for sure going to hit. But you never know, and that's why you have a plan in place and your profit target and your stop loss, and you just honor them no matter what, because look what happens now. It flushes down against me and then stops me out. I just want to show you where I got out. So there's 480. My stop is 479. I can't get out at 480. I have to wait till I see 479 or lower. So there I hit 478, and you can see I triggered my my sell order as soon as I found that out, or as soon as I saw that, and I got filled at 476. So it took 3 cent slippage there, which that's going to happen sometimes. But that's why you got to be quick, you know, on the hotkeys. Even when you hit it immediately, as you see 479, for example, on this trade, you might get filled lower because it all depends on where the bid is at that moment. 479 might have been the bid price on the person that sold right before you, and now you have to take the next bidder in line. But that's what you got to do. You have to take what you can get when you're trying to get out when it's failing, because if you stay in longer, you're just going to take a bigger loss. All right, so I guess, yeah, at this point I'm just watching Cetx, and I'm waiting for, see, I can take up to 3 trades per day, and actually I must take up to 3 trades per day as long as it's not past 430, and as long as the setup is there, right? So this thing is still a good ABCD pattern. It has not broken down below. It's nowhere near A at this point, so now I'm just waiting for the next 1 minute candle to make a new high, and that's my next entry. And that's kind of tricky to be watching that right now because the Cetx stock, you can see, is bouncing off my stop. My stop loss is 252. But I'm kind of toggling my eyes between both. And if you trade like this on the watch list, you have to be careful. Notice the Sbbp is highlighted right now. Now I just switched it over to Cetx. So whatever I do with my hotkeys, it's going to trigger whichever stock has this blue ring around it. So let me fast forward a little bit. Okay, so there was the next entry. I think I didn't realize this when I took this trade, but looking back over the video, I realized I entered early by accident. It wasn't intentional or like me trying to anticipate it going back up. You can see the high of this candle is 473. So my entry is supposed to be 474 or better. So that's what I need to see over here to get in. And I must have just had in my mind, sometimes I tell myself, okay, the high of this candle is 473, and I forget to remind myself that my entry's actually 1 cent higher, 474. So I think that's what I did here, because when I was in this trade, I never realized that I got in early. So here's 473. So I got in 473 where I thought I was supposed to get in. It wouldn't have made much difference in the end. because this thing did pop up and hit 474 pretty quickly. So I would have gotten in just, a little bit higher. Stop loss would have still been the same place, which was 459. So again, these are all good entries, good setups. And you can see this one also, popped up pretty nicely, going for my 2R target, and then comes down, starts to come down against me, but just bounces off that level, doesn't ever stop me out. And look what's happening over here at Cetx. See, this is why you take your stop loss. It's flushing down really hard. If you hold and hope, saying, oh, this is, one of the top 3 volume stocks, it's got to go higher, I know it, you're just going to end up really hurting yourself. Okay, now something pretty interesting happens here. This is a classic 3-bar play setup, and it's actually pretty much a textbook ideal 3-bar play, because here you in this Sbbp stock, you had this huge run up before this and a nice pullback to like 50% or somewhere around there. Let me show you live right now so you can see. Here we go. Yeah, so look at this. So if you call this A and this B, this is basically 50% retracement, which is pretty much textbook. And then here's that 3-bar play that we're on right now. Starting down here at that 50% retracement, there's bar 1, bar 2, and then you get in for the break of this bar. But even this 3-bar play, which are notoriously reliable setups, I don't think they're as good as ABCD patterns, and they're not as frequent either. Yeah, even this well-known 3-bar play pattern also failed. It didn't. It wouldn't make 2R off of this entry, and you would have been stopped out right here on this candle. So I'm just pointing that out because I want you guys to know that even the best setups can fail, and you don't hold and hope just because you think you got in on a really good setup and thinking that, oh, well, it's just chopping around and it has to work because this is such a great setup. No, it doesn't. It could be the very best setup ever. It could be the stock with the most volume. It could be the stock with the best news catalyst, and the good patterns can still fail. So there's no guarantee. So that's why you just trade your plan and your strategy. And you can see there that when this thing started to flush down against me, I got rid of that order so that if I need to stop out, I can. And this thing, just kept teasing me, just bouncing around. Nothing I can do. I have to wait until it either hits my target or my stop loss. And I'll show you why that's so important in just a second. Just wanted you to see, there we go. I was trying to get it. So 460, I need to see 459. There's 459. You can see I triggered my hotkeys and caught a little slippage on the way out there, but you can see my triggering of the hotkeys was pretty quick, so I can't complain about that. So even though I took 3 losses, let me show you with Weevil first, then we'll look at the spreadsheet. So after 3 losses, only down $8, not that big a deal. Let's look at the performance for the month. Or actually, so let me show you today. So this is 2 trades here. 2 losing trades mounted to 455, and then 1 losing trade on Cetx was 362. So the total loss for the day is 817, and it's the first day of the week, so that's the whole week. And then for the month of March, still up a considerable amount for the size of my account, 8.55%. Nothing to complain about there. You can see that most of my trades are green. Some of these are, a couple of these low number amounts are free stocks. But, and then some of these that are like this B hat, that's a pretty big loss. That was another like 3 losing trades in a row kind of a thing. So it doesn't happen often. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet and see how we're looking on that. So this is the results of my first trade of the day for all of March. And again, you can see that I've been doing the same thing all month. And look how March was at the beginning of the month compared to now. And if you watch those videos, you'll hear me say repeatedly that this is not normal. This isn't going to be this way for the whole month. I know it. I was just waiting for kind of the other shoe to drop. at one point my win percentage was like 91%, and you can see now it's about 56%, which that's more realistic. If I can be between say 50 and 70 or 50 and 65%, I'm happy, because with the 2-hour trading, all you need to break even is 33%. Anything above that is profit. Excuse me. And so you can see this is my P&L just based on the first trade. And then based on the second trade, it's adding a little bit, but I don't take many second trades, because if I win the first one, I stop trading. And then the third trade is basically break even now. But so that's it. And then for the month, 47.82 should be, I think there's a slight difference because of the free stocks. I don't put the free stocks on my spreadsheet because it doesn't make any sense. This is just strictly my trading. So that's it. So the whole loss for the day, even though I lost 3 trades, was less than 2%. I prefer to be right at 1%, but minus 1.26%. That's not too bad. So all right, let me know if you have any questions. There's my win rate, number of trades, all that kind of stuff so far for this month. And I just like to always leave you guys with, always take your stop losses no matter what, just like I did today. Honor your profit target, and you should be green in the long run. Take care.